In this video, we're going to start talking about section 3.4, which is about ways of thinking about division. We're going to talk about three ways. There's really two common types that show up in any type of curriculum that you might see. And then there's a third way that is more all-encompassing and mathematically really includes the first two views. And I'll start by talking about some vocabulary that applies to all three types. In a situation where you have a number divided by another number equals a third number, especially where the second number is a factor of the first, and so these numbers have names. The first one, the A, is called the dividend. So in 12 divided by 4, 12 is the dividend. And that second number, 4, or B in the top, is known as the divisor. So we have the dividend divided by the divisor. And then Q, the answer, in this case 12 divided by 4 equals 3, is the quotient. So dividend divided by divisor equals quotient. In a long division setup, the dividend is the thing that's under the long division sign. The divisor is the number that's to the left of the division sign. And then the quotient, for strange reasons it seems, shows up on top. And so that's how that looks. This is how it looks anyway if the divisor, like 4, is a factor of the dividend, like 12. In a case where it's not, let's look at, wow, I got all kinds of crazy stuff happening here. Let's look at when we have a remainder. And so if the divisor is not a factor of the dividend, like 5 is not a factor of 19, some of these still have the same name, so we still have a divisor. That's the first, we still have a dividend, that's what I meant to say. That's the first number. And the second number is still the divisor. But if the divisor is not a factor of the dividend, then we might get an answer with a remainder, a quotient and a remainder. And so if I were to take 19 divided by 5 and figure this out, maybe I would use long division and say 19 divided by 5. 5 will fit into 19. I can get 3 of those. And so that would be 15 that I'll need to subtract. And I have 4 left over. And so I'll put a remainder 4. So 3 remainder 4. 3 with a remainder of 4. So this quotient is 3 in this case. And the remainder is 4. You may notice that I've used the word remainder or a lowercase r or an uppercase r because to me all of those mean the same thing. I don't have a preferred way. So you can do whatever you want to with that to show that they have a remainder. Additionally, if we there's another way to write this. And so if I've got, let me write this problem again, 19 divided by 5, and I got 3, subtract 15, there's 4 left over, and I get a remainder of 4, we could say that we have 3 4/5. So in this case, the quotient is 3 4/5. We'll talk more about when to decide if it matters whether the quotient is a whole number or whether the quotient it can involve a fraction. Right now, I just wanted to show you that there's different ways to represent that. Notice that if we do decide that the quotient can involve a fraction, the numerator of that fraction is the remainder, and the denominator of that fraction is the divisor.